Alright, so on the 28th of June, 2022, as of like, let me put this here, as of like 15 minutes ago, I learned my granddad died, innit? My last granddad died. And obviously it's very raw and people are like, oh, why are you coming on camera? Like, for me, how I deal with it is I would be on my own right now talking to myself anyways. And that's what the channel is. It represents me and my journey and the people close to me. Obviously it's very raw emotion and you're going to be upset just from like, you know when you get that sinking feeling, innit? So, some context, I went driving just now. First lesson back, I've had a really good time. And I was talking to my instructor, Savan. Told him to come on a podcast sometime soon, but speaking to Savan. And I always speak about things on my mind, especially with like people I'm close to. And I feel like I'm really like quite close to Savan and how we talk. He's such a good person, innit? And I've always gonna be like that, especially with people I feel like I can connect somewhat with. So, you know, I basically told him, and I was gonna come and do a video right now, obviously without finding the news. And I was told him like, oh yeah, you know, my dad got a call this morning. You know, it's probably like his health. We didn't know he died at the time. It's probably like his health's like declining. And we're just speaking about his age and. He's 98. When he was 97 last year, he went Cyprus on his own. He was driving up until the age of 90. He would go betting shop. He's fallen on the floor so many times, and he like, this guy's avoided death like a madman. Like average age of someone dying is 80. In Monaco, it's 89. That's what I said to Savan. It's 89. This guy's 98. You have no reason to be upset. It doesn't make sense. Of course, there's raw and the emotion and everything, but you can't be upset because man lived to 98 and he was doing the most even when he was 90. He was had like he always had like a laugh, like a smile on his face, and he always had something about him, his personality. In Greek we say he had his nu, which is like his mind. He always had his mind. Okay, maybe the last year or two he started going a bit crazy with money and like lending people and asking it back and threatening people. He's gonna come to your house at 98. Okay, cool. Obviously that didn't represent him, but even for old people, he done the most. I remember, this is gonna be just raw, authentic, a lot of pauses, whatever comes to my mind I'm gonna say in it. As I said, I'm gonna speak about this once. And once only, because that's how I deal with things. And once I said it and it's out there, cool, I move on. I'm still going to do my workout today. I'm still going to do what I have planned. But it's very important to take a moment and a time to really deal with traumatic or events out of the blue, innit? And I keep doing this with my finger because he used to do this. So he used to do like... He used to be a magician in the circus, my dad told me, and I would kind of talk to him about like stories and stuff. And even recently, like last 5 years, I don't know, I'm very different to everyone else. So most people, family, they'll just come and say hi, general chit chat, whatever. With older people especially, I go to them and I say, talk to me about your past, like. And it always is quite hard for him to understand and everything. So it'd be like kind of broken up and everything, but you know, he spoke English, obviously he knows Greek, but you know, I'm so happy I asked those questions. I'm so happy I asked those questions because I have knowledge that I can say like I knew this about, and I'm telling my dad, you know, like your dad did this and he doesn't even know himself. A few things on the top of my mind was, I remember there's like this famous story with him that he ran away from the army So he like escaped the army basically because he didn't want to go army. And I remember my dad kind of telling me, and I asked him like from the horse's mouth, like, tell me what happened. And I'm gonna try and recall it as best as I can, but it was so like beautiful, so cunning as well. The bastard, man. I'll do the same. I'm not going army to fight. But basically what happened is they like got all the soldiers in Cyprus and they lined them up and whatever, and he said he was involved in like a truck accident, and then like it flipped to one side or something like that, and basically like I'm not sure if he was there on his own or it was other people, whatever. So I don't know, they basically came now, I think it was a few days later, and they asked him like, you join in the army. They lined them all up and they were like saying, yeah, you're good, and they were like, you. And they were like, and then what he did, I always remember, he did like one arm up, but the other one was like crippled. And they were like, hey, put your hand up. He's like, I can't. Like he basically acted like he was like paralyzed. He's like, I can't. And they're like, oh, you're no good then. And I think they put him in like a kitchen porter or something. I think that's what he did. Which kind of leads probably to he started a restaurant as well after. Obviously that my dad always says that went bust, and my dad was in a bed and breakfast when he was probably just a bit younger than me, which explains why he's so like focused on money, because he suffered a lot. And anyone older generation, especially what they've been through in their long lives, did suffer a lot as well. That's always the story that comes to my mind. It was just it's so clever. Just act like you can't put your hand up, like you're crippled, so you don't have to go. I'll do something the same. So cunning. And yeah, and then from what I heard as well, he was in the circus. He used to do magic. I remember, I'll never forget, he had like a string and he like cut it, and he told you to cut it and you expected it to break, and it was like still attached, and still to this day I don't know how he done it. Just such stuff like that was so amazing. And as I said, yeah, the hand thing is like, when I saw this, it must have been 8 years ago, 10 years, 12 years, like he'll just do that, and me and my sister be like, what? How do you do that? So yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm very indifferent about it. I think obviously emotion from the raw thing and everything, it's that sinking feeling. As I said, I came from driving, I was feeling good, just about to make some food, just go to see how dad is, and then dad he's like like I never really see my dad cry. I mean, I've seen it with his mom obviously now, maybe like one time before. We don't really see those things, and it's like, yeah, obviously you're upset for your dad and everything. He's like, oh, I have no family left. I'm like, big man, like, we're your family. Your dad's 98, my friend, like, come on now. He's technically 18 years above life expectancy. I know, and I was even telling Savan, my driving instructor, like all his siblings lived, they were like 100 or 102 or something like that. So, they lived a long life. And again, like, you can't be upset about it. Yeah, you can experience the raw emotion and the memories flood back and everything, but to be depressed about your granddad living to 98, having a really good life essentially for his time period and everything, and man was telling me in the circus, in the army, always had kind of like a smile on his face, always there's magic. I'm so happy again, and every time I say this sentence it gets me emotional, but I'm so happy I asked the right questions in it. I asked these things, and the one thing that brings me even more joy is I have a podcast to come out with him. It was filmed about 9 months ago. I tried to literally the other day try and put it on WeTransfer. It was an issue. I don't know, I have it on my phone though. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to put that on my channel, and obviously I need to put some subtitles because you can't really see, but you're going to see exactly like who he was. Like a 25-minute conversation of who he was, and that's my send-off, innit? Because this channel represents me Good and bad, I don't give a fuck if you say I'm crying. Shut up, bro. If you lot are one's crying at night, bro, I'll cry about something once, I'll move on. Got my man, and I deal with it. And men don't cry, yeah. Go on then, look at me. And I have that podcast, and it was quite good. I just spoke like, what's your name? Anything you want to say? I remember off the top of my head, spoke about something about smoking. Spoke about something about. I said, what advice would you give to anyone? I can't remember exactly what he said. I need to watch it again. It'll be even more emotional, but that's Dorothy's Katsudis. We all know him as Rodney. That's my farewell to you, Rodney. It's the reason I support the team I support, innit? Obviously, I'm a Leyton Orient fan. Who's Leyton Orient? I don't care. It's part of who I am. It's my family. He lived obviously in Leyton. Lived in Leyton, and you know, obviously, I remember he went with his friend called Chris, and I remember I met this guy called Chris at my grandma's funeral. And I just see him there, and they were like, Chris. And I was like, wait, is that the Orient guy? And my dad was like, yeah. I was like, so I just went over and spoke to him. I said, hi, are you Chris? He's like, yeah. And I was like, can you tell me about Orient and how? Because he essentially brought my granddad to the first Orient game, which is why granddad supported Orient, dad supported Orient, and me. And I'm not sure what first game they went. From the top of my head, is something telling me about the FA Cup. I don't know if it was the Chelsea game. I remember Chris takes something out of his thing and he's like, me and my sister would say, like, 1959, Orient was playing Chelsea and we were 2-0 up, and we finished. We lost 3-2, something like that. It always makes me laugh. But he had like, took it out of his suit and he had like a Orient match, like a season ticket, 1959. So obviously I know my granddad started going around that time. And every single time after we go to the football, which was like a home game once every 2 weeks, we go to my grandparents' house in Leyton. That was just our thing. And we just go there and we'll sit, have a tea, talk a bit, eat some food. And it's always the same thing. Like, what was the score? Orient, I saw. And he always did like bets as well, like 50p bets. Accumulator, betted like 10 teams to win and one would lose. It just be like, who's the fuck's gambling at 90 years old, bro? Some joke, man. Some clown, but stuff like that. So, like, unique. Driving as well. He had some blue car. I remember he parked like a shav, was it? It smashed the... It was like a drive-through, but it's like a stand thing. So, like, smashed it. I will never forget that. A few years ago. That was so funny. Yeah, I think he stopped driving like a few years ago, but this guy, he's definitely driving at 90, which is kind of mad to think about. And again, as I said countless times, he'll fall on the floor. Man will just get up, and I'm like to my dad, if this guy was gonna die, he's never gonna die. Obviously he was one day, but he's never gonna die. He's like a juggernaut. This guy's way over his time. He'll like fall over, get back up. He'll like, I remember one time my dad said, like, I don't know if it was maybe 15 years ago, maybe it was like 85, 80 or something, but I think he came from the airport and he was meant to get picked up, and he just like, he just scarpered, yeah? And that's always the word he used, just scarpered, and he just left and just went. He went on his ones, and in the house, he like couldn't get into the house, and he like broke the door or something like that. It was like so funny. And he smashed the, I think he jumped around the back or something, like an 80-year-old jumping fences, yeah. So imagine him jumping something like this, or some clown, man, like hilarious stuff like that. And like, it's just like, so you always hear something bad with him and you just be like, oh, it's Rodney, he's a juggernaut. That's always what I say to my dad, he's a juggernaut. Man should have died a long time ago. The situations he's been in, the falling over so many times, so many times his time was here, and he said no to it. Yeah, from obviously what I found, Well, my dad said he died in his sleep, apparently. I mean, again, the best way to die, right? So you've died the best way, you've died at a good age. For your time period and everything, you've had a really, really good life. Family close to you, man died peacefully. What is there more to say? You know what we should cry over? We should cry over the kids who are born 2-month-olds and get bombed in Syria. That's what we should cry about. We should cry about the people who suffer every single day from their country in war. We should cry about the people who don't even know who their family are and are so alone. We should cry about all these things. That's what we should be upset about. Not So my mum came home from work now, obviously, and I got the keys here. I locked it out because I knew she would come. So she just knocked on the door. But that's what we should be upset about. The people that are really truly suffering, not the people who are good old age and had. Your time has come. What can I say? I'm not gonna cry over that. Yes, I'm gonna cry over the emotion and the connection and the memories flood back, but I'm not crying over a 98-year-old. I'm not being depressed and beating myself up and stopping my life over a 98-year-old who's had family who died peacefully in his sleep. Young boys are getting stabbed and bleeding to death alone on the street. A 15-year-old in a show I watched, a 15-year-old, it makes me sick every time I think about it, but a 15-year-old in Romania was captured from her family, kept in the basement. There was a phone call. They played the phone call. She's like, oh my God. She's like, please help. I don't know what they're going to do to me. I'm trapped here. I don't know where I am. I'm like, there's sheer panic in her voice. And they played it. And the phone, and it ends because you hear a guy's voice in the end. They found the property. They go there. What happened? They burnt her alive. They raped her and burnt a 15-year-old innocent Romanian girl alive. How many times has that happened? That's disgusting, bruv. What the That's what you should cry about. That's what you cry about. So I know I'm going to go in and going to see sad faces and everything. I'm going to go and put my music loud and they're going to say it's disrespectful. And parents, you'll probably watch this and say, he doesn't care. Listen, I care above everyone the most, innit? But I'm not going to lower my vibrations and the mood for something in context. This is the journey of life. And his time has come. And everyone else's time will come. It just reinforces the fact of the biggest currency you have is time. You cannot waste your time. This sends shivers down my spine because it's a wake-up call for a lot of people. I was woken up 2.5 years ago, and I remember Tulu saying, it came to my mind, he thinks about death a lot. I actually agree. It's very important to think about death a lot. Not in a sad, but, bro, A to B. B is when the train stops, and that's death. And that's what my granddad experienced today. The time in between, how you spend it, is completely down to you. You have to make the most of yourself. And you have to make the most of your situation. Because who's next? I went to sleep knowing my granddad was alive, and I've woken up or come back to find out he's dead. Things will change in an instant. And the one thing that I don't like is people get sad at a moment and they come together and we must do this. And yeah, you know what? I might actually stop smoking. My dad might say now. I might stop smoking because of the emotions. Or yeah, my mum, I might try and lose weight. Or they might get fit. Or both of them. Oh, cool. But a few months will go by, a year or two. You know what? Nothing's changed because they slip back into their routine. I'm not blaming them because this is human nature. But 2.5 years ago, when I started my self-improvement journey, when I asked these questions, I really understand what death is. And death used to affect me so much. So I've lost all my grandparents now. Had both grandmas was end of 30th of April. My mum's mum, who I was really close to, I'm going to do a whole podcast on that. And my dad's mum was in June. So 2021. No. 2020? 2020. Yeah. I think. Yeah, it's 2020. It has to be. And then obviously now June 2022, my granddad, so that's my dad's died. And my mum's dad died time ago in 2010. And that's when I was starting secondary school. There's a photo of me and my cousins, and I always remember it. And I just was shivered with anxiety. I was starting secondary school a few days later. I just didn't know what was going on. My granddad just died, vomiting. I was scared as fuck of death, man. I was so scared of death and people close to me dying. I swear, I remember that. Oh, my sister's at the door now as well. Look, she can't see my glasses. She said, come. Yeah, I already know, bro. And I was scared. She should know that about me. Come on now. She should know I would make a video like this. And I was fucking scared of death, innit? I was so sad that he died. My granddad, who was 86 at the time. I was so sad that he died. Because I didn't understand death. And most people don't. Because they're always that one traumatic event away. Bro, as I said, I'll take my glasses off. You can kill everyone around me. You can kill everyone around me. And I'll still bounce back. Yeah, it'll be months, maybe even years. But I'll still bounce back. You ever think I'll submit to the worst of things happening to me? Never. I will never do it. I'll never submit and become depressed and not fulfill my potential. Because times like this, I hold the emotion close to me. And when I can't do that extra press up, or when I don't want to do my work, or when I don't want to go and talk to someone, I think, take a deep breath, and I look up. And I say, they're always with me, innit? In present form or memory or what. No one can take away the memories I've had with that person. And that's the most beautiful thing. As long as you have no regrets and you have memories, that's it, you win. And that's what people don't understand. There's been times in your life, and you have to look back, where there's been people you're close to, times happen, maybe friendship groups, a girl, boy. And you know that things will never be the same again, right? That's a timestamp. That is solidified in history forever. I'm going to do a message to, so I'm not going to go too much off topic, but I'm going to do a message to this Albanian girl I was very close with. I haven't spoken for like 2 years. I'm going to do a whole thing on that. And I look back and say that's a timestamp. Because there's no way nothing can happen now. It doesn't work like that, innit? So beautiful inside and out. Wifey type, everything. That's a timestamp. And I think now it's like, yeah, cool, not gonna watch this, nothing. You wish these people the best. And you keep their memories close to you. Close to your heart. Because without that, without memories, you have nothing. You're nobody. It's all about the moment, and I sit back now, and when I come on camera to express and explain to people who this individual was in my life, there's certain things that come off, and there's certain feelings I experience. And I simply portray that in the most authentic, neutral way I can. And say, you know who Dorothy's Rodney Kyrikouts was? He was my granddad, and this is who he was as a person. And he was a beautiful man. He was a beautiful man. Are we done here? Huh? It's mad to say, 25 minutes just to speak, but I have the memories and they're close to me and I can see them. Close my eyes. I used to do this thing as well. Like with old people especially, even anyone, like you just like, I'll like feel their skin and just really like start smelling them and shit like that, it's fucked, innit? But I'll just be like, I always think like this could be the last time I'll go to them and I'll proper like take it in. Like that hug. Proper taking the hug. And I'll proper like take in how he feels and how he smells, and I can close my eyes and meditate, and I can see myself there in the chair. I'm looking to the left and I see him. I can hear his voice. I can see his walk. How he like limp everywhere. I can see all these things. They're all there. And obviously time goes by. And you know, you tend to not forget. Like, if I'm thinking of 2010 and I'm trying to remember my first granddad's voice, the one who have his name, I can hear it. It maybe gets a bit harder, but I can hear it. And that's why when you do have podcasts like that, I'm so happy. At that time, my dad went to the shop to get fish and chips or whatever, I don't know. I was just there and I was like, oh fuck it, I'm going to put the camera on, I don't care. And I'm so happy I did. I'm so happy I did. I'm so happy I did. And I have no regret. That's it. There's nothing more I could have said. I can't remember the last time I saw him. I don't think it was that time. It was a few times. Obviously he was getting ill. Dad would see him and everything. I didn't really want to go and see someone being ill and everything, but that's not how you remember them. But I'm so happy I did. I'm smiling so much from a complete happiness, because I will have that forever now. As long as YouTube's growing, I will have that video there and I'll have it saved and backed up, and I can just watch it. I say, what's your advice? I can see what he said. It may not be that as good, but I can just watch it and I can say, thank you for everything you have done. And thank you for being you. Listen, I'm not someone to ever cap out or say exactly how it was. He was a good person. Yeah, he went a bit crazy with money. Yeah, he could have been seen as a bit selfish. Again, keeping it real. But what? I didn't know him when I was younger. I think he had my dad when he was 47. Or 45, I think he said in the morning. And my dad's younger sister, who obviously died as well from cancer. So sad, when she was my Annalise's mum, Effie. She had Effie when he was 47, I think, 48. She's quite old. I think it was his second marriage as well. So he got married before, whatever. And my mum's dad got married before as well. So I think his wife cheated on him with his brother. Yeah. It's fucked, eh? So imagine if that never happened, then technically dad wouldn't be born, I wouldn't be here. So thank God women are cheating. Yeah. I don't know. This video done him justice. Obviously another funeral to think about. Wow, I used to have no grandparents left now. I said at least. But I don't know. 2010 to 2020, it was like about 10 years, 11 years maybe. No one died. They were all gonna come at once, right? And that's what's happened. One thing that I'll leave it on, and it keeps playing in my mind, is man died in his sleep. Of course you would, Rodney. You would die in your sleep, wouldn't you? The nicest way to go out, you would die in your sleep. Die in your sleep. Fucking hell, bro. Sums you up, eh? Thank you, Bapu, for everything. Thank you for being authentic, you know, looking after me with my grandma at times, honestly. Thank you for all the food you made. I really liked it. It was actually nice, you know, it was always really nice about their cooking. It's something different. And first and foremost, thank you for having my dad to have me. Thank you for having, for me, for essentially creating the genes, and the chance of me to live. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. And the last thing I'll leave it on is thank you for introducing me to Leyton Orient and making me a Leyton Orient fan, because I'd always wonder why the footballers mean so much, because it's a community club. This is family for me, passed through generations. It's like every time we win, my granddad wins. And that's it. I'm grateful. I'm gonna wipe my tears off. I'm gonna go in there and I'm not gonna say much because I'm not involved in that, and I'm just gonna go about my day, and that's it. I spent 30 minutes and I'm gonna spend more time alone reflecting, but I'm not going in front of my family. Not to say I'm a man's man, whatever, but I haven't got time for all this crying in bed. We have to make the next steps and make the next moves. And best believe this workout will even be more fierce, because when I experience pain like this, don't even call it pain, emotion, I hold it so close to my fucking heart that it drives me on like a madman. It drives me on like a madman. And not one day goes by when I don't think about my mum's mum. I literally pray every single night for 10 seconds about her. Just say, all I even say, just close my eyes, I do that and say, I just say rest in peace. I don't know. These people meant something to me, bro. They contributed, they played their part. Yeah, some more than others, cool. Even friends, everything. It means something because they were part of your life at one stage. At my granddad's stage, Rodney, DOROTHEOS, Kyrikouts, Bapu, your stage is over. And my stage is just beginning. I promise, if it's the last thing I do, I'll make you proud. And that's on facts.